kindly be seated. Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to today's insightful session on smart decision making, navigating choices with clarity. In today's world, where every choice leads to a new path and every decision shapes our journey, making smart, informed decisions is no longer just a skill. It's a necessity. In today's session focuses on how to navigate those decisions with clarity, confidence, and vision. To begin this session with divine blessings, let us quieten our minds and open our hearts. I now invite Melvisha to lead us in prayer, seeking guidance and grace for the journey ahead.
I request the audience to take a prayerful position. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of this new day and for gathering us here with open minds and eager hearts. We are grateful for this opportunity to learn, grow, and be inspired. Bless this session today. May it be filled with wisdom, insight, and clarity. Guide our thoughts, spark our curiosity, and help us observe the lessons shared with us. Bless our guest speaker, Mr. Sabeer Bhatia, for taking his time to be with us and for his willingness to share his journey and experiences. May his words empower us to make thoughtful decisions and pursue our goals with courage and vision. We also pray for our teachers, mentors, and every individual who continues to support and shape us. This session reminds us that no dream is too big and no path is without a purpose. When guided by this determination and grace, we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce and welcome Reverend Father Joel Fernandez, the esteemed finance officer of St. Joseph's College of Commerce. Father Joel has been a pillar of integrity, wisdom, and administrative excellence within the institution. His meticulous oversight of the college's financial planning and resource management has played a pivotal role in ensuring the continued growth, transparency, and sustainability of our academic mission. Known not only for his financial acumen, but also for his pastoral care and commitment to the holistic development of students and staff, Father Joel embodies the value and vision that define our Jesuit tradition. We are deeply grateful for his continued leadership and support. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Reverend Father Joel Fernandez. It is with great privilege that I welcome and introduce Mr. Chetan Venugopal to our gathering today. Mr. Venugopal is a distinguished chartered accountant and a respected business leader with over 2 decades of experience in global business process management. He is the co-founder of Pyrian Group of Companies, which he has successfully led since 2002, transforming it into a global enterprise with a presence across India, the United States, the Middle East, and Asia Pacific. We are honored by his presence today and look forward to drawing from his insights and experience. Please join me in extending a warm and respectful welcome to Mr. Chetan Venugopal. I now invite Father Joel to hand over a token of our welcome to Mr. Venugopal. We also have with us Mr. Brian DeLima, the Secretary of the OSA. A warm welcome to you, sir. We also extend a warm welcome to the OSA representatives who are among us today. Lastly, a warm welcome to all the students present here. Hope you take away valuable insights from this session. It is my honor to introduce our esteemed guest for today, Mr. Sabeer Bhatia. An academic achiever from the very start, Mr. Bhatia did his schooling at St. Joseph's Boys High School. He began his higher education at BITS Pilani, later transferring to Caltech, and went on to complete his master's in electrical engineering at Stanford University. His journey reflects not just intelligence, but incredible vision and perseverance. In 1996, he co-founded Hotmail, the world's first web-based email service, a groundbreaking innovation that transformed global communication. Under his leadership, Hotmail grew rapidly to millions of users, and in less than 2 years, it was acquired by Microsoft for approximately $400 million. Mr. Bhatia was named by Time magazine as one of the people to watch in international business. And he continues to innovate through ventures like ShowReel, a platform leveraging AI to help job seekers and entrepreneurs tell their stories. His achievements are not just technological, but deeply inspirational, reminding us all the power of bold ideas and global thinking. Please join me in welcoming the visionary entrepreneur, Mr. Sabeer Bhatia. I now invite Father Joel to hand over a token of welcome to Mr. Bhatia. Without any further delay, I now invite Mr. Sabeer Bhatia to take over the session and enlighten us with his insights. I request the dignitaries to join the audience. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for the very generous and kind introduction, and thank you, Brian, for inviting me to this, and thank you all for coming today. What I'm going to tell you today is maybe very controversial, but I hope you take a real world lesson from what I'm here to tell you. We are living in the age of, artificial intelligence and robotics. I was very fortunate to be, a witness to a revolution that started in 1994, which was the web revolution or the internet revolution, when the web browser was invented, and I knew instinctively that would change everything. And today, we all know that everything is, being done online. We do our shopping online. Social media has replaced real-world friendships. Our banking is online. Transportation is an app. Everything is, been taken over. But that was not the case in the early days of 1994. Many people doubted how much change it would bring about, and the change has been nothing but, incredible. So why were people disbelievers at that point in time? It's because, we are used to doing things a certain way, and we go back to the past. We seek comfort in things that have been done over and over and over again. If it has been done before, we're like, oh, there's no risk. I will not be faulted for doing this. This is what I should be doing. Unfortunately, all of the education that all of us received, including myself and what you're getting as well, is based on repetition. We are taught to do some things in a certain way. We master the art of doing things that way because we are told that will help us pass. Thank you. We are told that will help us pass an exam and get scored high marks in the exam, which was okay for the 1900s when the world needed factory workers or office workers, and in repetitive jobs, whether it was in accounting, it's finance, in manufacturing, management, everything was based on, and decisions were made based on committees, groups of individuals. All that has become irrelevant now because computers and artificial intelligence will make those decisions based on data even better than humans can, because they will take in more variables. They will, not have they will not be encumbered with relationships that we humans are encumbered with. And I'll give you a real-world example of this. Walmart has something like 8,000 suppliers. Until 3 years or 4 years ago, they had a whole team of people who would constantly negotiate with these suppliers to get new products into Walmart stores. And there was a human relationship because these relationships were built over the last 40, 50, 60 years. About 4 years ago, they introduced a chat bot that did all of the negotiation with all of these suppliers. So there was no human connection between the buyer and the supplier. There was no concept of a human buyer. The buyer was a chat bot, and everything they negotiated on chat. And obviously the chatbot was very familiar with all of the competitive products, their pricing. As a result, Walmart was able to cut down their procurement costs by 30% because this chatbot had no empathy. It did not rely on past relationships. It just negotiated the best deal. This is one example. Today, pricing of a product is also a very important aspect when people are creating a new product. All of that AI will do better than human beings. So in terms of decision making, because AI has access to so much more data, it actually starts making more intelligent decisions, business decisions, than human beings. So in this day and age, knowing how to do things like they were done in the past is completely meaningless because computers, robots will do a better job than humans. Where does that leave humanity? What is the meaning of education? That itself is in question today. So what we have to do is start becoming creative, start becoming thinking individuals. And I call this aspect of thinking critical thinking, which means question everything. Don't take an argument or a point of view as is, or this is how you were taught. This is how things must be. You have to always find, is there another way? Am I looking at this problem correctly? Or am I just missing the point? Am I fooling myself? Am I lying? Am I being lied to? In this new world, the only thing that will stand out is truth. So really, we have to redefine the meaning of education and say the meaning of education is the pursuit of truth. And truth comes when you have a questioning mind, an inquisitive mind, where you challenge everything. Now, one of the first things that happened to me when I went from BITS Pilani to Caltech was, I'll share an experience with you, and hopefully there is a lesson in this. I was told to write a paper, and the paper had a required reading of 3 books. So I read those 3 books and wrote that paper, and I submitted it, 10-page paper. First of all, in India, nobody ever asks you to write a paper. You just study and go to an exam and regurgitate whatever you have studied, and you pass the exam and you're done. So there was no concept of you have to think on your own and write your own analysis and your own thesis. So it was hard for me to fill the 10 pages because I had never done it before. I submitted it. 2 weeks later, I got the results. I got a D. That's like a failing grade. And I was very distraught because coming from India, I had A's, throughout 99.99% here, which is also, I think, kind of ridiculous that you can score almost perfect score, because then where is the intelligence? You're not testing the intelligence of the individual. You're just testing the regurgitation ability of the individual. But, I wasn't complaining. And so I went to the teacher and I asked him, why did I get a D? He told me, you know what? And I told him, I've read those 3 books, and I've summarized all the ideas in those 3 books and put it in this paper. He says, no, I have read those 3 books too. I wanted to hear what was your point of view after having read those 3 books. Which means you have not put in any intellectual effort into this. You have essentially just studied, summarized, and copied and put all of this in. That is not education. That was an eye-opener for me. And from that day onwards, I realized I had come to the right country and the right school to get the right education, which was truly one of learning and thinking. And perhaps these kind of experiences, have resulted in me eventually becoming an entrepreneur and doing all of the things that I do. Today, I'm not driven by a motive to make profit, because we think that entrepreneurship is about business or making money. That is the old way of thinking. That is just doing something that's already been done before. And that will be done by computers and be done by robots much better. There are already examples and use cases of what has been done. I am more interested in doing things that have never been done before. In fact, I'll give you the story of Hotmail itself. When we started Hotmail, it didn't start with the idea of creating a web-based email. My original idea was to actually create a personal web-based database on the internet, which we could access from any computer in the world, from a web browser. I put together a business plan for this web-based database, and I recruited my partner, Jack Smith, to join me in this venture. Both of us were working at a company called Firepower Systems. The company put a firewall around the corporate intranet, and that made it very difficult for me to access my personal email account, which was at stanford.edu, and his email account, which was at AOL. That's when the idea came to us, to Jack actually first. What if we just made email available on the web? That would solve our problem. So that was it. That was the questioning. Can we make email available on the web? And sure enough, if we made it available on the web, we will solve our problem. If we will solve our problem, we'll solve the problem of millions of other people. That didn't require me to go to school. That just came from thinking critically and questioning things that you see around you. And that led to the creation of Hotmail. And of course, we got funded. And 2 years later, we sold to Microsoft because we were on an exponential growth curve. And even Microsoft knew that if they were to catch up with us, it would take them 1 year to create the service on their own, by which time we would have become 30, 40 million users big. And once you're on an exponential curve, they will never be able to catch up. And it was not about money. We were not making any money then. Today, the worth of Hotmail is probably like $50 billion because there are 1 billion users. So this thinking doesn't come from counting dollars and cents. And the one thing that I see over here is everything is so structured that decision-making is almost, the structure takes decision-making away from individuals. Whereas what we have to do is encourage individuals to make decisions on their own for everything. Not that I will just study and I will get a job here and I will just do this, then I'll get married. Then you haven't made any decisions in life. Life is about taking control of your actions, taking responsibility, making decisions. Sometimes you'll make the wrong decisions, but you take responsibility for those decisions and you learn from them. That's what ultimately makes you a better human being. So there is a slight difference in the final outcome. Purpose of life is not to get rich and retire. The purpose of life is to become a better human being by making good decisions along the way, and sometimes you make the wrong ones, but correcting them at every step so that eventually, you have learned something from your journey in life. If you've come here and learned nothing, what's the point of life? that is the philosophy, or that's the Western philosophy. And once upon a time, we had that philosophy here in India as well. Because, that was the original Hindu philosophy of the Vedas and stuff. That is, the purpose of life is to become a better human being. And today, of course, we live in a modern world where we've got to have a family, we've got, children, we've got to send them to school, we've got to, but we make decisions along the way, and we should continually make good decisions. So that's one aspect. The other aspect of decision making is our individual purpose in life. Each of us is uniquely been sent to planet Earth to do something. So we have to find what our purpose in life is, what our passion in life is. Not what others want, not what society wants, not what our parents want, but what do we want to do? And I see this so often, where in India people put their personal, wants and needs aside because they are like, oh, we have to get a job, because we have to look good in society. As a result, there are wrong people in the wrong jobs. And, society is kind of broken. It's not moving ahead. I will end this with, once again, a very controversial statement that I made, and you can decide which side you want to choose. A few months back, there was a big news article, and people in India were saying India has become the 4th largest economy. Well, great. Maybe it's the 4th largest economy. I just put out a tweet and questioned, so what? Even if it is the 4th largest economy, that should not be our end game or purpose. That is a meaningless number. That is a spreadsheet exercise that shows from $3 a day, we have moved people to $5 a day. Big deal. 60% of India still is, or 70, 80% is still, if you take the total GDP and remove the top 1% or the top 5% of earners, our GDP per capita falls to $1,100 a year. Now, where is that progress? If 90% of people on an average are making $1,100 a year, we have actually regressed. So this wealth has just been redistributed to the rich and the very rich. But the very poor are becoming poorer because of inflation and other things. So I just put out a question and saying, should we really be rejoicing, or should we be focusing on another number? Let's, all of us, take a vow to increase the per capita GDP of our country. That's real progress. And by the way, people are like, well, you're not patting us on the back because we have made a lot of progress. I'm like, okay, show me the progress in real numbers or in real data. In 1990, the per capita GDP of India and the per capita GDP of China was the same. Today, the per capita GDP of China is $13,500 per individual per year. So if you take the top 5%, or not even 2% of Indian earners out of the equation, our GDP has fallen to $1,100 per person per year. So China is 13 times better, and we were at the same level. So all I said is, should we be rejoicing? People are like, oh my God, you've attacked India. What have I attacked? I've attacked data. I've said the way you're counting data is wrong. Where is this concept of India? What is this India? India, is this some out there notion? India is us, people, and our well-being, and our economic well-being. Nobody seems to correlate the two, but where does that questioning come from? It comes from critical thinking. It comes from looking at data and looking at it from different angles and saying, wait a minute, you're just computing the wrong number. GDP is meaningless. You have to compute GDP per capita. In the US, nobody talks about the GDP of the US. People know it's 21 trillion or whatever, but, or 10 trillion or something like that. But nobody cares. But in India, there is an obsession. We have to care. Care for what? How does it help me? How does it help my bottom line? In the US, people worry about per capita GDP. And that's what we should do as well. Where does this all come from? It comes from critical thinking. It comes from education. It comes from real education, which is learning and questioning everything, not taking things for granted. Because taking things for granted is we're just doing it the same way that it was done in 1947. That means there's been no change, no innovation, no progress. We have to start becoming thinking individuals. And this is even more important in this day and age, because otherwise computers, AI, and robots will take all the mundane jobs away. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you. Sure, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for that truly inspiring and thought-provoking session. Your perspective has surely lit a spark in many of us today. We will now open the floor for a Q&A session. If anyone has a question, kindly raise your hand and a mic will be brought to you.
So, good afternoon, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you as well as the college for giving us this wonderful opportunity to have such an insightful session. So, most of us here are around the ages of 18 to 20. And my question for you would be, if you were 18 and had no money but unlimited access to the internet as of now with AI and all the developments, what business would you build and what are some of the skills that you would suggest us to build?
Yeah, I get asked that question all the time. I cannot, once again, you have to come at your own conclusions. I cannot think for you. Once again, you're asking me to think for you by saying, tell me what business should I do? No, you have to figure out on your own what new business you can do for which there is some sort of an audience, for which there is a customer, for which there is a customer who's willing to pay you something for. Or you can get a lot of customers and then you can figure out a way to advertise to them. So it's a whole ecosystem. It's a way of thinking. But you have to decide on your own what you should do, why you should do it, and how will it benefit you in terms of, creating a business out of it. And I'll give you my personal conclusion that I came to last year in this new world. Until April of last year, my personal social media Instagram account had 214 followers. And maybe there were about 8 or 9 posts, lame posts. And I met 2 young people like yourself. And they said, sir, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. I'm social media. I don't believe in this. No, social media is the way you build a brand. And, any new products you have, you can push through social media. And it's very important. I said, but I already have a brand. I said, no, nobody knows you now. You had a brand 30 years ago, but nobody knows you now. And the Gen Zs, nobody knows you. You have to build a brand amongst the Gen Zs. I'm like, all right, how do I do it? They said, we'll start making social media reels for you. I hadn't made a single reel. Today I have 367,000 followers. Cumulatively, my reels have been viewed 150 million times. And slowly I'm getting popular amongst Gen Zs as well. So it's a new world. I had to reinvent myself to reconnect with this new generation, which is all about social media. And so far, my instincts are turning out to be very correct. Because when I looked at how Donald Trump won the last election in the United States, it was all on social media. And the only difference that I see between the Democratic Party and Donald Trump and the Republican Party is there's no more party anymore. The concept of party is dead. It is all about individuals and their social media presence and what they do and how they relate to the rest of the world. Kamala Harris could not do a single podcast, whereas Donald Trump did like 17, 18 podcasts. The most popular amongst them was the Joe Rogan podcast, which got viewed like 130 million times. That is what won him the US election, without spending any money. On the other hand, the Democrats raised and spent $2.5 billion on the election. Completely useless. Didn't do anything for them. Now people are questioning, is the Democratic Party dead? Is Zoran Hamdani the new, face of the Democratic Party? That's the kind of questions they're asking. So it is all about individual brands. We have to, previously we used to build a resume. I worked for this company, I worked for this company for so many years, this company. That's useless now. It's your individual brand that you build on social media. Whether it's on LinkedIn, it's on Instagram, it's on Twitter. I just started tweeting about 6 weeks ago. And now some of my posts, they are viewed over 1 million times, 1.4 million, 1.5 million times. So I've had to reinvent myself. So I cannot answer that question for you. You know the world of the internet, of devices, of apps better than I do. You use more apps, you probably spend more time on it than I do. Because you're more familiar, you've grown up, you are known as the internet generation, I can't tell you what to do, but all I can tell you is don't stop thinking. Someday, some moment, when you're doing your regular things, subconsciously an idea will come to you. And that will be that powerful, that will gnaw at you and you'll say, yeah, I think I need to do that. That is your calling. I cannot force it upon you, I cannot reason it, I cannot tell you. So you have to think for yourself and arrive at your conclusion on your own.
Thank you, sir.
Greetings, Mr. Sabeer Bhatia, sir. First, before I ask my question, I would like to say it's a pleasure to be a part of this audience, gaining a lot of knowledge from you, sir. Sir, I recently did a small case study about Hotmail, sir, and you said that the vice president of Hotmail, I forgot his name, but he's the one...
Steve Dowdy.
Yeah, Steve Dowdy. Thank you, sir. He coined the term. He was the first to coin the term viral. And you were one of the first people who became viral. So, Mr. Sabeer Bhatia, I would like to ask you if all of us have our own paths to success, like you said. But when we succeed, how do we deal with that success according to you, sir? Like, what's the best way to deal with it?
Listen, that too is a learning experience in life. But I would, best advice I'd give you is become successful first. You'll figure out how to deal with it. The thing is, yeah, it's a learning experience. Everything in life is a learning experience. So you continue to do things that make you happy. Can you keep quiet, please? I can't speak if everybody is talking amongst each other. I cannot concentrate. Thank you. So each of us will have a different experience and different challenge in life. No two experiences or challenges are the same. In life you will have ups and you'll have downs. Many times we will all be in a very dark place. We'll feel terrible about ourselves. I think the one thing that has kept me going is I'm always positive. Every experience that I get, I don't see it as a negative. If I just kept winning all the time, I've not done nothing in life. I've not learned. So actually sports is a great metaphor for life. Because in sports, and over here, this is where I really fault the Indian system. Everybody says, you're very successful, you're very successful. What do you mean by successful? You shouldn't use the word successful ever. You should use words like, you're very happy. Because we equate success to money. And that's the wrong measure, wrong yardstick. That's exactly the problem that our government is facing. If I could advise them, I would advise them. You're looking at some number as if money is the solution to your problems. You have so many problems to solve. You haven't solved any of them. You don't have an idea of how to solve them. But you are just fooling them into believing we are all rich. Somebody's rich. I don't know who. The government is rich. I don't know. The country is rich. But really, are we rich? I mean, go look at Japan, whom we supposedly overtook. Go look at the roads, the infrastructure, quality of life, air, quality, people. Are we better than them? Nowhere close. So what are we fooling ourselves into believing? That are we better? We have a bigger economy? And then that was a spreadsheet. Somebody fudged the numbers and said, oh, we are bigger. I mean, so we are chasing the wrong thing. Each of us has to chase happiness. Every single day we have to be happy in our lives. That is success. Success is not money. And those people who have money, who flaunt it, think they're happy. They're not happy. They're just showing off to everybody else that they have it and the other people don't. That is not success. That is not happiness. That's nothing. That is called illusion, which in Hindu philosophy is referred to as Maya. So when you say, how do I deal with success? I don't deal with success. I just deal with life. Every single day is a new day. And my goal is just to live the best day that I can and learn something every day. That's what will make you happy, and that's what will make you a better person.
Hi, old boy.
I'm sorry?
Old boy.
Yes, I'm an old boy.
Yeah.
Are you an old boy too?
Exactly.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember me, but I do.
I can't see you very clearly because of the lights. Maybe what's your name?
We leave the names for now. My
Okay.
question has a context. Money can be made, but no amount of money has ever bought a second of time. So, what did you do when you made your first big money
Softer, a little softer. It's too loud, yeah.
in 2007? $400 million. What did you do?
No, 1997, not 2000.
I'm
1998.
so sorry.
That's
but
fine. No. Well, I splurged a little. I bought a few toys and I sold them all. I bought a Ferrari, I bought an R8, I bought a yacht, I bought a plane, I have a home. But now my most prized possession is my bicycle. Because my bicycle gives me good health. Every single week I ride my bicycle 100 miles and 10,000 feet of climbing. That's what makes me happy.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. It's an honor to be in the same room as you.
Thank you.
My name is Samkeet Lunia, and I'm in my final year. So I run my own marketing agency. It's been 4 months since I've started that, and I have good amount of clients. My biggest client right now is Swiggy Instamart. So what I'm facing a big issue is that how do you manage multiple clients, and how do you try to balance out a lot of things in life that is happening personally, professionally, and academically? So like, how do you get the balance?
Well, you have to organize your company in the right way. So have an account manager for each of your clients whose sole purpose is to service your client. You know, your client is their God, should be their God. And, you know, any things that they need to get done by your marketing agency as it relates to their marketing, you know, your account managers take care of that. So it's just a question of organizing. My guess is, from hearing you speak, that you are managing those relationships yourself, and you're getting stretched too thin, and it's interfering with your personal life. So the advice I would give to you is learn how to delegate it to other people, to trusted people, and trust them to make the right decisions to service your clients.
And one more question. How do you figure out things when you just are stuck? You're just there, you're existing with business and everything. How do you move on and get your definition of success?
So you have to dig deep. When you get stuck, sometimes you take advice from other people who've been in the same situation, older people, more experienced people. Sometimes you have to find the answers within yourself. Think hard, work hard at it. I get a lot of inspiration from hard work. I mean, from working out, from swimming. Sometimes I go on bicycle rides that are 5 hours long, and I do 55 miles. But my mind is subconsciously always thinking. And sometimes I find the right solution while I'm doing that. So, but, have trusted people, your family, your parents, your good friends. Rely on them. Have conversations, engage them, and learn from every conversation. One of the things that I try to do is I listen to everyone. Because everybody has something to contribute. So when you keep an open, and when I say listen, I'm not saying just 2D listening, how was your day, what movie did you see, or repeating something that was, not that. Everybody also communicates through body language, and you learn from people's body language. And it's the subconscious communication that is more powerful than the conscious communication. So life is a learning experience. You'll figure it out.
That was the last question for today. Thank you, guys.
Can I just ask one question?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. My question to you would be that how did you approach life, as in how did you decide what's your purpose? Because I used to play cricket all my life, and due to an incident, I'm not able to pursue that further. And now I'm stuck in such a situation where I have no idea how to approach things in life, because cricket was my life.
So that doesn't matter. You're not meant to. Find out what you were meant to do.
Okay.
You have to make yourself useful to society, to humanity, to your family, to your loved ones, everything. So maybe your calling was not cricket. So a lot of people say, if they start playing cricket, maybe you did not have the physical, structure to play cricket, the mental acuity to play cricket. Maybe the injury was a godsend. Think of it as, okay, fine, it happened. Don't brood over it. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel sorry for your life. You're still alive, right? Find some other passion that you like doing. You'll figure it out. I can't tell you what your passion is, but try different things. Try, I don't know, like I said, try social media. Try becoming an influencer. If not that, try figuring out how you can, if you like to cook, do cooking. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do in your life. You have to find your own passion in life. And it cannot be one passion, I'm going to do the same thing. No. There are lots of changes that happen in life. Life comes at you very fast. And all of a sudden you are in a new situation, unfamiliar territory. You have to find the answers yourself. Don't look for answers outside. Once again, you are asking somebody for advice. Tell me what to do. No, you have to arrive at this on your own. Which means life is a process of discovering who you are. And once you find who you are, you will find eternal bliss, which is, this is who I am. I love doing this. I love public speaking. 99%, I did not know this, that 99% of humanity is very scared of public speaking. I love it. As you can tell, I don't have a problem talking to anyone. But when I started Hotmail, my first 2 or 3 public appearances, I made a fool of myself. I was so nervous on stage. That same vice president, Steve Dowdy, was like very unkind to me because I got nervous and I didn't know what to say. I told myself, doesn't matter. I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure it out. Because now I am the CEO of this company. I have to do it. Many years later, you see, I don't ever prepare for any talk. Everything is just extempore. Because it's true. It's the truth that I speak. And I think that stands out. The truth is, the ultimate truth in life is finding out who you are. Not what you want to be, who you are, and what purpose God made you for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I invite Father Joel and Mr. Chetan to join us on stage. I now invite our BB student coordinator, BM Lika, to deliver the vote of thanks.
As we draw this enlightening session to a close, I would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude. First and foremost, we thank God Almighty for His presence and blessings over today's event, for guiding us through with clarity and grace. A warm thank you to our guest, Mr. Sabeer Bhatia, for sharing his invaluable time, experience, and wisdom with us. It has been truly inspiring. I now invite Father Joel and Mr. Chetan to present our speaker with a token of our appreciation. A special thank you to our respected Father Principal, our Finance Officer, our Registrar, our Vice Principal Shift 2 and all the OSA representatives headed by Mr. Chetan Venugopal and Mr. Brian Dilema for their constant support and leadership that makes events like these possible. We also extend our sincere thanks to the Head of the Department of Business Administrations, Dr. Rati David, and our collaborators from the institution's Innovation Cell, the Faculty Coordinator, Mr. Akhil Manuel, and the OSA Faculty Coordinator, Mrs. Patricia Paul, whose vision and encouragement continuously drive us forward. To our wonderful audience, thank you for your presence, attentiveness, and enthusiasm throughout the session. A big shout out to our student volunteers for their tireless efforts behind the scenes and to Shailesh sir for his ever constant support and guidance. Lastly, our sincere appreciation goes out to the non-teaching staff whose silent dedication and support often go unseen but are always deeply valued. Thank you one and all. May the thoughts and the insights shared with us today stay with us, guiding our choices and decisions in the journey ahead. Have a wonderful day.